Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of different musical video and audio elements of the videos that I watch. And today I'm going to be checking out a new video by Pentatonix. This was posted, I full screened it before I looked, 3 weeks ago as I do this, so I'm unusually early for a Pentatonix video, and I'm glad to be here now. This is Meet Me Next Christmas from Netflix's film Meet Me Next Christmas. I know nothing about the film, I haven't seen it, I don't even know if it's out yet. Probably is, they usually try and get a little bit ahead of the Christmas period. But this, I do know, one thing I checked out of curiosity because I had a suspicion, and I was correct. The film stars, well, I say stars, it has its principal characters, but during the film, Pentatonix are there as Pentatonix, as themselves. So I don't know if what we're about to get is their rendition of it, filmed in like Pentatonix music video style, if it's going to be a clip or an extended clip from the movie itself. I don't know whether the song happens in full in the movie. I don't know if there's going to be acting over this. I have no idea. But I assume that this is sung by them in performance at some point during the movie, and that's really kind of awesome. I love that a cappella is entering a more mainstream format. That's amazing, with voice play appearing in Warframe and Pentatonix appearing in a movie. Home Free doing Skull and Bones for the game that came out recently. Like, there is an increasing prevalence of these major a cappella groups appearing in more mainstream media, and that can only be a good thing, because they're amazing. Pentatonix, I know, is probably, I suspect, has done more. I don't know, I haven't looked back, because they've been a little bit more prominent throughout their career. But even so, just seeing this is great, and I love it. I know nothing about the song, because I know nothing about the film, so I have absolutely no idea what's coming my way. I'm just going to enjoy a cool Christmas thing. Pentatonix does Christmas extremely well, so whatever this is going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know if I have a crazy amount to add at this point in time, other than it's long overdue that I got back to a Pentatonix song. As you may know if you read my posts over the last few weeks, it's been difficult for me to get videos recorded, so I've been a little bit behind, rather than potentially even doing 2 in a week for a few weeks. I've actually been doing 1 every 2 weeks, which is the exact reverse of what I like to do, but unfortunately it's just been very busy. So I apologise for that. Pentatonix back on the channel as they should be. And yeah, I'm rambling at this point because I have nothing else to say. So I'm going to say welcome back to the channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch this video from beginning to end without stopping it, commenting and emoting over the top, and then I will go back and watch it a second time, this time pausing, interrupting, and offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on the foreknowledge of having seen it once before, and what I've literally just watched that second viewing. And please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you'd care to support the channel, you can do so by heading to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. More details on that at the end of the video. I think that's all I have to say, so without any further delay, let's get into Pentatonix performing Meet Me Next Christmas from Netflix's film of the same name.
Meet me next Christmas.
Oh, that was unexpected as the beginning.
I've only got one wish, and it's a bit selfish, but I
love that harmony.
maybe you could
Meet me next Christmas.
yeah. And I made a checklist, with only one box to tick, but I keep thinking
Okay,
maybe you
I'm
could
picking the
meet
plot
me
up
next
already.
Christmas. Oh, I do not mind driving through the snow. No flight delay can stop me. Know that I will do
Bit of irony, methinks.
to hold your hand on Christmas Day. What do you say?
Nice.
Meet me next Christmas.
Oh, I love it.
I see some mistletoe, yeah, right up above me, but no one to kiss. So baby, maybe you could
Meet me next Christmas.
This is an interesting style for them, I like it.
right is the Christmas mood, you know it's
I feel for him, but it's funny.
promise. So baby, maybe you could meet me next Christmas. Yeah. Whoa.
The register for this whole song is significantly lower than they usually are. It's fascinating.
Yeah, you know what I mean for the holidays.
Meet me next Christmas.
Oh, this is cute. I like that. Is that one of their old videos? I love these breaks. Nice punctuation in the arrangement.
Christmas.
Nice. That's awesome. And that's that. That's a really cute song. I like that a lot. I love the presentation of it as well. It seems like they actually are performers in the movie, which is awesome. Like, they actually have some acting to do as well. It's not just them up on stage at some point in time. They actually have roles. If somebody's seen the movie, tell me about it. I'm curious. I usually watch a few sort of Hallmark-style Christmas movies. My wife's usually in one most Christmases, and just in general, it's enjoyable to just see what's what. And there's some cheesy ideas that could just be really heartwarming and enjoyable. So yeah, I think that's really, really cute, and I love, as I said before, the idea that a mainstream Hallmark style Christmas movie is actually getting a cappella in it is wonderful. Interesting arrangement. It kind of felt to me a little bit more than usual, like they were representing a pop song, if that makes sense. The da 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 sort of thing that Mitch was doing up the top there, it gave me that vibe of being like a high guitar or keyboard part in something. Like, it felt more like they were instruments than usual, which I think is really interesting. It's a different way of hearing a song from them, and I like that. This is all about they're versatile. All the main groups are in their own different ways, and I think one of the things Pentatonix is wonderful at is the diversity of the style, not just of the music that they take on, but the way that they present it back out to the audience. And this is fascinating. I don't think I've heard them do something quite like this yet. Maybe there's more of it, maybe there isn't. Also, yeah, that video of them kind of doing the chair dancing, was that from one of their other videos? I was like, are they watching one of their the characters watching one of their old videos at that moment in the movie? I don't know. I don't recognize that, so I don't know if I've seen a thumbnail for it, or it's one of these ones where they change costumes or something like that, or if that one just hasn't come across my table yet. Anyway, very cool. Let's go back to the beginning, watch this again, and see what I can pull out. This is really interesting, and this one, it's obviously showing clips from the movie. Like, this isn't cohesive. This isn't how it would appear in the movie when they're performing. But it's interesting because it does give an element of plot. Like, I'm assuming that there is an attempt to get tickets to a Pentatonix show as part of the plot. And it's sold out, and, by some Christmas miracle, somebody manages to get hold of some tickets or something like that. Again, if you've seen the movie, let me know. I'm just kind of extrapolating what I understand from what I've seen here. But yeah, let's have another crack at this.
Meet me next Christmas.
I mean, that's not what you expect from the start of a Pentatonix video, for sure. Like, that's very meet me next Christmas. Very deep for a Pentatonix arrangement. Like, don't get me wrong, I expect there to be depth. Matt exists and does awesome, deep things with his voice. But to have the entire register of the performance drop down, like the timbre of this, is unlike anything I've heard from PTX before, and I think that's really cool. It's, as I say, versatility of style. I also want to talk about Timmy hair in my my mouth. He hasn't paid a visit for a while. It's like I keep expecting a meow, and I think he's in his early winter hibernation. Once the winter kicks in a bit more, he'll be a bit more active. First couple of weeks, he's always a bit kind of, get up, eat food, go back to sleep. Anyway, This set as a thing to perform in front of on a stage is so cool. I've seen sets like this before, and it's just so much fun when you get this, the representation you've got going on here. Like, obviously, this is, you have inside and outside at the same time kind of feel. The snow, the Christmas trees, like, this is a beautiful set. And I like the idea that they're using projection behind that to show the outside environment. I think that's something we're seeing more and more in theatre right now. 10 or so years ago, when Cameron Mackintosh rebooted Les Miserables, he released a new version that used these moving projections, and it's a different kind of immersion to a full-size theatre set, and it's really interesting, and I'm intrigued to see what happens with that in theatre more and more, because it's awesome to see this kind of technology wrapped in, as long as it is used properly and well. Like, it could look terrible, or you could really fudge it up if you don't do it in exactly the right way. I'm not commenting on this in any way. This is me kind of riffing off the concept of projection, as a more immersive thing in theatre. Anyway, curious to see where that goes. But this as a setup, kind of awesome. I don't know where this theatre is, but it's a nice space. It looks like a really cool place to perform. And I love the idea that they have, they can do their music video partially as a stage performance, because that's the nature of what they did. And that's really kind of cool. You don't always get that with a music video that's come out of a movie. You'll often get clips of a concert performance that the performer has done elsewhere, intercut with scenes of the movie or something like that, or a bit more of a traditional music video style. But in this case, the movie is the performance, so they can kind of do other things with it, and that's kind of awesome.
Meet me next Christmas.
And then, of course, you intercut with scenes of New York, which I love cities at night. It's cities can be ugly during the day. They can be dirty. They can be whatever. They can be very clean and pretty during the day. But at nighttime, seeing a city lit up from above is stunning. You get something like the Chrysler Building right here. That roof is iconic, and it just looks so cool at night. Anyway, I like that that's their first thing. It's scene setting. We know they're performing in a theatre. Now we know what city that theatre is supposed to be in. It might be there, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's standing in for it. But it's a nice little bit of scene setting.
Meet me next Christmas.
And then we're introduced quickly to the film characters, which makes a lot of sense. I like the fact that as we do that, we're not going into any kind of complicated lyrics or anything like that. We just got this da-da-da-da-da-da sort of thing, this ostinato effect, this rhythm section that they're building up here that they're going to use throughout the song. We develop that first, and while we're not concentrating on what's being sung particularly, we get to see a little bit of this setting. It's a really, really smart way of starting a video like this, because if they launched into lyrics and they were cutting to the characters of the movie rather than the singers, it might be a little jarring at first, but this lets us get to know the key players, both in terms of location and in terms of people, and that's a really smart way of starting this. I assume at that point they're listening to Pentatonix.
Only got one wish, yes.
And straight away we get, as soon as there's singing happening, as soon as Scott starts the melody. Sure, I've Only Got is sung with the character still on screen, but we snap back to Scott and we see him. We establish him as the singer for this, which is, so what's interesting is if you've never heard Pentatonix before and you don't know how high Mitch can sing, and you see a group of 5 folks there, if you are not familiar with higher male voices, you might think this is Kirsty. And so this is what I mean by establishing things early. We establish right now that Scott is singing, and there is nothing wrong, by the way, with not establishing that Mitch is way up high. I'm just pointing out that it's important when the melody singer comes in to establish who that is, and they do that very, very quickly. So I think that's a smart edit at that point, to cut to Scott and establish him as the person who is very clearly singing. You can also see in the background that there is somebody else on microphone. That is presumably our beatboxer. Again, if you understand the concept of a cappella music and beatboxing and all that kind of stuff, you could start to understand from this shot what's going on, which is a smart little edit at that point in time.
I've only got one wish,
Oh, actually, that was Matt, wasn't it? So that's the bass line. I apologise. I was not paying attention. I was more describing the shot than I was focusing on who was in it. Kevin's actually off to the stage left, the right-hand side of our screen at this point in time in that shot. So ignore my mistake there. The point of the argument stands, but obviously it's not someone beatboxing. That's our bass singer. I have done many Pentatonix videos. I just was looking at the wrong thing at that point. This is one of the things about reacting. Especially my style, where I look at I'm not just listening to the voices. I'm looking at so many different things. I focus on one thing, and you just miss something else happening somewhere else. Apologies.
I've only got one wish, and it's a bit selfish.
Pentatonix, the Christmas tour. Was this an actual tour? I don't know. Again, a Christmas Eve classic. Just looking at the. Is this the? No, that's just me. No, it's not. Never mind. My brain for a second interpolated a theatre entrance from a different movie, but it's not the same theatre. But just looking at these posters that we've got here, yeah, is this an actual tour that was happening and they filmed while they were there? Again, questions. I don't know what happened around this movie, so let me know. I love this setup of the harmony. I've only got one wish, one wish. That little addendum there, just setting up the other voices in a very, very simple fashion. I really like that. It's such a simple harmony, such a simple touch, but just that repetition at the end of the line is really nice.
Got one wish, and it's a bit selfish, but I keep thinking maybe you could.
Jackson something. LGA. Is that LaGuardia? I can't remember. I haven't flown into New York for quite some time. But just interesting, you get these little establishments. See what I mean about establishing things? This tells you something about where this person is traveling to and from and things like that. Nice little touches that give a story to this music video that might not otherwise be there. It's one thing to have somebody getting on a plane, but the simple world building of making the boarding pass visible so that you can see it and know that they're going from point A to point B makes a big difference. This is a big aircraft for a domestic flight too, because 22G. That means this is either a 323 or a 232 layout on the plane. That's a big plane for a domestic flight. Because normally I would expect A and F to be the two windows. Going up to G implies at least 7 seats across. Sorry. My various fascinations and being a writer, the random nonsense that I keep in my head sometimes comes out in these videos, and there's a wonderful... Also... Oh, no, that says 170 or something like that. I thought that said 17G for a second. I was going to say you've got her in 2 different seats. But yeah, sorry. The random stuff that my mind decides to focus on is funny. That's a fascinating line. The slow build-up of that. But I, just Scott, keep thinking we're bringing in Kirsty at least. And then the maybe you could meet me next. As we build through that line, and there's a small crescendo, it gets a little louder. We add the voices in, but the voices are added in. Meet me next Christmas. They're added in lower. We're getting that low register again for that little hook. That build up of that line is really well achieved. And I like that we get that ostinato riff kind of again. It's not really an ostinato because it's not continuing throughout the whole thing, but that little riff from Mitch that keeps coming back. I love that we're getting this intercut of them interacting with each other, and it seems, you know, those kind of casual moments. It's a nice intercut of the professionalism of being on stage and performing, and these casual moments to kind of chill out. It's almost like you're seeing on stage and backstage, and yet it's all professional filming because they're playing themselves as characters in the movie. It's kind of cool.
And I made a checklist, with only one box to tick, but
I like the harmony we get there. It's a little evolution now. We've got 3, instead of selfish, We got the checklist, yeah. The three notes, but this time the second one is markedly different from the first one, so it's just kind of pushing on the arrangement a little bit as we go through.
With only one box to tick, but I keep thinking maybe you could meet me next Christmas.
There again, we have a similar build-up, but we start slightly hotter in the arrangement, and so the build-up, rather than going from... Hang on, let me get my directions right. Rather than going from here and kind of going up from there, we start, if that's where we started this time, we start here and the line up is a little shallower. So we're starting slightly hotter off.
But I keep thinking.
There's something about that, but I keep thinking. It sounds a bit more pushed forward than it did previously. There are not actually any more voices there. It's just the increase has started slightly higher up.
Maybe you could meet me next Christmas.
I do not mind driving through the snow. That's a lovely melody line. I really like that. It's got there's some nice jumps in there, but it's got a nice fluidity to the way that line is constructed. Very nice.
Oh, I do not mind driving.
Nice syncopation. I do not mind driving. There's your beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not I do not mind driving through the snow, which would be perfectly functional, but less interesting. I do not mind driving through the snow. I think it's the through he comes back on beat. That's a nice touch.
Through the snow. Oh, I do not mind driving through the snow.
Oh, it's Ving. The Ving of driving. He comes back on beat again. And it gives us this night, we feel a little pushed for a minute and then it settles. There's a give and take there that's really nice.
No flight delay can stop me.
And of course we're seeing the cancelled board. I like that. No flight delay can stop me. You know, it's one of those things, it's a simple thing to say, but it's referencing the events of the movie. You know, is that cheesy? Is that smart? Is that, you know, whatever it is. It's nice to have that connection in there.
Driving through the snow, no flight delay can stop me. Know that I would go. No flight
Nerdery.
delay.
I didn't see what time the flight was. I'm now looking at it going, can I find that flight on this board? This is the me that watches movies sometimes and I'm just like, can I pick something out? Excuse me a second.
Maybe. Delay.
Wasn't her flight 1:30 p.m.? I just read that on the boarding pass. Yikes, or at least the boarding time was 1:30 p.m. That's I don't know what day she's supposed to be flying on right now, but flight delays at Christmas, that's rough.
You can stop me, know that I would do whatever it takes to hold your hand on Christmas Day.
That I like this. I don't know if this is these two characters, but I like that as you get that line, not only do you get two people holding hands, but you get somebody in a Santa outfit, so it ties in the Christmas thing as well. And I love this beautiful pink sequin number that's going on over here. That's great. Nice, flashy, glittery. It's a nice kind of statement piece for a movie. Make that character stand out a little.
Whatever it takes to hold your hand on Christmas Day. What do you say?
Meet me next Christmas.
That I really like. We get those two nice breaks. You get the big break, a quick the what do you say, and a much shorter break. But it's a nice bit of punctuation that kind of reattaches your attention to the arrangement because you hear something really definably different. And whatever your musical knowledge is, you know, you might not be able to pick up on some of the things that I'm discussing here. There might be, I haven't really done as much arrangement discussion or vocal discussion because there's so much going on screen. But, you know, if there's something you're like, I say, oh, such and such a key change or things like that, you might not necessarily have picked up on that. You're not going to miss a break like that. And so that kind of punctuation really stands out in a song. And I like the use of it here.
Day. What do you say?
Meet me next Christmas.
And it's interesting, we've still got, there's someone singing meet me next Christmas. I think probably Kirsty, might be Mitch. But having somebody up high, so we have widened that breadth, but still the average register of that meet me next Christmas is still lower, but we're filling it out as we go. So it's got this nice evolution as we go through the song, which is really nice. I just want to go one more time into that.
Do whatever it takes to hold your hand on Christmas Day. What do you say?
Meet me next Christmas.
There's some interesting harmony in this. There's some bits that are really quite simple, but they're really effective with what they're doing.
Do whatever it takes to hold your hand on Christmas.
What's the note?
Do whatever it takes to hold your
To hold your hand on the I think that's Kirsty's line in there. It's not kind of we're not singing in thirds here or anything like that. There's some open notes.
hand.
Han, 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 han. There's an open fifth being sung there, which means you've got a tonic note, like the grounded key note of the piece, and the fifth, which, bum, 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 bum. It's the relationship between those two varies wildly depending on how they're presented, and having them open like this is quite striking because it gives you this fairly potent sound, especially because the fifth is lower, which makes it sound slightly unfinished, and not having the third in there to set its tonality as major or minor in that moment, it gives it this kind of open, unfinished quality that's really, really nice, leading into the whatever it takes that comes up next. Oh no, hang on, that's not the lyric.
Whatever it takes to hold your hand on Christmas Day. What do you say?
Though, yeah, the Christmas Day, what do you say? Sorry. Whatever it takes was just before. But it gives us that nice openness that leads into a more completed finish. And then you get the meet me next Christmas, and we finish on a very strong tonal ending there. And that's a really nice structure leading through those moments. I like that a lot.
Meet me next Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I want Scott's coat. What is it? Recently, every video I watch, I'm like, I want that. That's cute.
Meet me next Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. I see some miss.
Moonwalking Santa. Also, nice little touch.
Yeah, yeah.
On the downbeat of the drum, you get the high five between Mitch and Scott. That's a nice little touch. In time with the music.
I see some mistletoe. Yeah.
Is Kirsty's shoulder like...
I see some mistletoe.
Yes!
Yeah, yeah. I see some.
So we get, on the beat, the high five. On the beat, the cut to Kirsty and Mitch. On the drum hit, at least, not the beat, the little twitch of her shoulders. Small things, but I bet you that the editor paid some time to make sure that they did that. And it's nice because even if it's not a big, like, it's one thing to have cut, 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 cut kind of thing, and to be snapping between screens, but the simple thing of a movement on screen being timed with the music and with the beats of the music makes it feel more like it's part of the world, and I love that so much. That is amazing.
Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. I see some mistletoe. Yeah. Right up above me. No one to kiss.
I love how bare it suddenly gets. We have this kind of the percussion with the clapping rhythm going on. Even that harmony, because there's no bass to it, it sounds bare in a really interesting way. It's very Spartan compared to what we just had, even though this is a slightly more Spartan arrangement harmonically anyway, but it's particularly so for this section.
I see some mistletoe.
Even there, the miss of mistletoe sounds much like, and I don't mean this as a negative word, it's weaker than the sulto of it. So it builds through that line. I really like that. It's a bit more piano at the beginning. It crescendos a little as we add both breadth and people to the arrangement. But yeah, this moment of just having Scott do his thing for a second and just have this percussive backing to it, really nice.
I see some mistletoe. Right up above me. No one to kiss. So baby.
I love as we get no one to kiss, we get the standee, sort of the ornament, or the lawn decoration of Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. That's a lovely touch.
Right up above me. No one to kiss. So baby.
And then the counterpoint of seeing the character, glass of wine, not looking particularly happy. It's a nice cut to kind of emphasize the loneliness of the character at this point, and having her framed really tightly with 2 panels of this window covered by curtains. There's light, there's warmth. You can see that from the glow on her face. You can see it's warmly lit, but we're seeing this isolation of this one frame. This is a beautiful shot right here. I really like that.
Right up above me, no one to kiss. So baby, maybe you could leave me next Christmas.
And then as we get the Meet Me Next Christmas, everybody comes back in, but we don't get the sense of the arrangement building again. It still feels sparse, right?
Want to kiss, so baby, maybe you could leave me next Christmas.
I like that too. You get a la da da, and it's still sparse, and you get those little kind of vocalizations.
Next Christmas.
Everyone has their own baby, whoa, all those little bits. Everybody gets a little something, and then boom, the whole arrangement comes back in again. That's a lovely build. I like it.
You could leave me next Christmas. Right, it's the Christmas mood. You know it's true, it's you I miss.
I like that. I ain't in the Christmas mood. You know it's true, it's you I miss. I'm in the mood for you right now. It's nice because I ain't in the Christmas mood on its own sounds like it should be a more negative feeling. And obviously, you know, it feels like it should be a sadder song. Oh, I'm not in the mood for Christmas right now. But here's the thing I'm actually in the mood for. I like that little lyric there. That's good.
You know it's true, it's you I miss. So baby, maybe you could leave me next Christmas.
And now again, we're evolving again. Now Scott's riffing over the top of the Meet Me Next Christmas. We've still got that foundation there. That's happening the same as it did, but Scott's breaking away from that a little bit. So again, we're evolving the arrangement just a touch.
So baby, maybe you could leave me next Christmas. Whoa, I don't wanna hear the radio. No jingle bells, no let it snow.
Again, just lovely lyric writing. I think it's you know, it's a little in your face, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's nice. I think it's doing what the song needs it to do. And we get that lovely melody line again. I really, really like that. And I think what they've done too, they've particularly well written the scansion of those lines. Like where they fit is important. You know, if I don't wanna hear the radio, it's kind of how you would say it. I don't wanna hear the radio. If it was I don't wanna hear the radio, it doesn't fit well. Like, it's not how you would say it naturally, so it sounds weird sung. Sometimes that's done for effect and it's good, but here it's a really clean line, and I think that's one of the reasons that's standing out to me as well. Gorgeous jukebox. Which is exactly what he's just done. Gone up to his falsetto. I love that climb through. So I'm flipping to my falsetto. Really, as he goes up there, that's a lovely climb. And we're climbing before that too. Cause it ain't the same, we're down there, I can't hit the same note. We're climbing.
So now I'm flipping to my falsetto.
And we climb through that to falsetto and hit that, and you get Mitch way up the top there as well. Really, really nice sort of use of that climb to something, and then it pays off not only in terms of the musical structure, but in terms of the lyrics kind of meeting that as well. That's nice. I like that a lot.
But I can't hit the same note. So now I'm flipping to my falsetto. You already know.
Meet me next Christmas.
And then he has that that lovely falsetto line at that point, and we come back in again with that that groundedness of that repetition of the motif that's come back again. This is a great shot too. I like seeing the full auditorium in shots like this. It's so often you kind of pan to the important people in the audience or something like that. This is what it looks like. Well, I say this is what it looks like. You can see far more people than you would expect it. Like, you know, if I was performing in a theatre I'd expect to see the front 2 rows, just because the amount of lights that are on you are very, very bright. Now, granted, the camera is back and raised above, so we're looking down from a different angle. But if I was one of them at this point in time, you wouldn't expect to see the whole theatre like this unless you've deliberately raised the house lights. But it's nice seeing this because this is what it looks like to be on the stage, and I like seeing that represented in film. Lovely falsetto, incidentally. Scott's falsetto is excellent, and I love that he actually gets a really pointed use of it in this.
Next Christmas. You know where to meet.
I love that we get that second there of just Kevin. We just get that beatboxing as we establish this. Then Matt comes in on the really deep line. Now we're really kind of seeing them break down what they do.
Next Christmas. You know where to meet.
And I love this intercutting. We have different people coming in and out of lines. And so you're seeing kind of different makeups of the group. It's changing what it sounds like. We get this consistent, you know where to meet me. You get that consistent bass line down there, but we weave different layers over the top. So we've got this kind of fluctuation of precisely sort of what we're hearing in terms of the voices that are in use there. And that's nice. It keeps it interesting. It keeps it... this is presumably at this moment, maybe there's something more happening on screen, and so we pull the song back for a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe this is just the song. Either way, it's cool. But it's nice because it's giving a little bit of a dip in the middle of things and allowing us to lead back in again towards the end. There, even there, you know where to meet the holiday. Like that cut in the middle of that, not finishing that entire line. It gives us this kind of... It's a little unsettled. You know where to meet me for the holidays? Yeah, sure. But we're not there yet. It's nice. I like that.
You know where to meet me for the holidays. So meet me next Christmas.
And as we're adding in a little bit more percussion, we're building up layers. We've got a little bit more kind of embellishment riffing going on over the top of it at this point. It's a slightly unusual choice to me, and I realize they're just showing clips from the movie probably, but seeing Kevin momentarily playing the cello but not having any cello in the arrangement is slightly strange. But that's just my cognitive break between what I'm seeing and hearing.
So meet me next Christmas.
It's not. So I'm deliberately not looking at the photos. I'm going to come back to that. But I love this kind of... We've got this... It's almost like a beat with tone. And I really, really like that. Like we're just chilling for a break at this point. Like there'd be dialogue happening or what have you. But it's just... Everything's just chill back for a minute. We're keeping it moving. The pace hasn't dropped at all. But it's so uninvolved compared to the complexity of the arrangement we had a minute ago. It's giving us a very different vibe as we go through this sort of 30 seconds or so. I like it. Let's have a look at these. This is a lovely collection of photos. I really, really like this. It's kind of giving vibe. Obviously, we've got a lot of BTS, like actually on set, so we can see the theatre. That's hilarious. I have a sneaky suspicion this rug is a prop in a show that I work with. It's if it's the rug, I think that might be an IKEA rug. Not sure. But I like that we're seeing some of the other people. We're seeing some cute moment, like this moment of Kirsty here is so sweet. And I love that we have the two main characters. Oh no, hang on. I can't count. Who's missing? Did Kevin take the photo, maybe? But we've got the two main characters here with the group. Really, really nice touch. I can't quite see what's under... I'm going to turn caps off for a second. Oh, Matt's chair. This is lovely. I like this because we get to see some... This is the sort of... Where I was saying earlier, we have the break between professional and casual. This is now almost super casual for this video because we're seeing the legit behind the scenes rather than the characters behind the scenes. And that's kind of... There's multi-layers to what we can actually see in this, and that's really cute. That's lovely. You get the break. And it break... Hang on, where's that break in the bar? This is interesting. Yeah, so we go, but the wish is on beat 3 of the bar. You get the full beat 4 of nothing, and then that lovely creak sound coming back in again. As we come back into that vocalization into Meet Me Next Christmas. That's really nice. And it's just a bar of, with the meet me, like that coming, the meet me is in that sort of lead up bar, but that lovely kind of build into this, and then boof, we land on the beginning of the next bar with everything coming back in again, and back into this melody that I'm loving, the I Don't Mind Driving Through the Snow. Really, really nice sort of drop out and feed back in again. I like that a lot. And I love that the ear is drawn to presumably Matt in the background there doing that whoa, because he's done the whoa, whoa. And because we've had that creak lead in that he actually had there, even though we then get a familiar melody and all the complexity back in, the ear is attuned to Matt's voice slightly. I'm going to keep saying Matt, assuming it's him. The ear is tuned to his voice very slightly, and so we hear him in the background doing this kind of wail over the top of the thing, even though it's set further back in the arrangement, because we've been primed to listen for it. That's nice. And then we get, that's more or less the same as it was the last time, but with that, the Meet Me Next Christmas is a little bit different, so that's a bit more unique. I like that. What do you say? Hold your hand on Christmas Day. Just what? That's quite, that's a comical freeze frame right there. What do you say? Meet me next Christmas. I love how we have this. I love this. Meet me, meet me, meet me. While we've got the la da da da. Mitch sailing away on the top there. Those two built together sound really, really good as this kind of almost call and answer across, and that allows this additional stuff to go on in the middle as well. That's really, really nice. It just kind of gives us a nice sort of lead out, if you like. And that's nice too. We cut out the highest thing, then we cut out the middle thing, and we finish on Meet Me Next Christmas down at the bottom at the same register it was at the beginning. We've sort of peeled back down again in the last couple of seconds. That's really lovely. 3 layers. Cut Mitch. Cut the middle. Finish on the bottom. That's really, really nice. And then you get what I imagine was legit applause from the audience, assuming that that was all being performed live in the moment, even if it was pre-recorded. That's really, really nice. I love this. I love that we have this bookend of them being the performers on the stage, but so much has happened in the middle to kind of give you the vibe for what's going on in this video. That's really cute. I like that a lot. That's a really nice video. It's got a fun... I like that idea of, you know, we're far apart, but I want to be with you and nothing's going to stop me. Let's meet next... Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in here that's being expressed throughout the song, and I like the way that they've done it. I didn't check their description. Boop, 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 boop. Nope, nothing particular there. Just talking about the Hallelujah Christmas Tour, which is their one for this year. This, I presume, if it was an actual tour, would have been filmed last Christmas. And if it wasn't an actual tour, obviously they could have filmed it whenever they wanted to. But yeah, that's lovely. I think the play between having Scott and sometimes Matt kind of singing more of the melody, Mitch giving this lovely, like, sort of descant embellishment throughout the whole thing, acting not quite as an ostinato. It wasn't quite consistent enough to call it that, but this motif that keep coming back, and then the depth. I love the fact that the two kind of most prominent things are "Meet me next Christmas" and da 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 da. This really, really high line that Mitch had. We had the two extremes going on throughout that, and then a bunch of stuff happening in the middle. That was actually a really interesting structure. That's cute. I really like that. I think I can see that being an entertaining thing to have in the middle of a movie. It's a great song for that sort of thing. If they do the whole thing exactly as they did there, you have that lovely section to sort of just over halfway through where you could have a dip and have dialogue going on over the top, which is something you have to consider. If you're going to have singing in a movie, do you just have the singing like fade into the background? Do you do something with the song to actually allow that scene to happen over the top? You'll usually finish the song out if it's something like this, and that's always nice. And so we've got a really nice structure here both for a song in general, but also for a song that's going to be a part of a movie. And that was really interesting. I like it a lot. They killed it, obviously. That was a really, really good example of a Pentatonix performance, I think. And yeah, that's a lovely video. It's really, really well put together. I thought the editing was good on that. And I think the amount to which them performing as part of the movie allows that to be the video rather than cutting out of the world of the music video. Like, it made it feel a little bit more holistic sometimes. If you cut to people performing in a studio or something that is very clearly not diegetic, that is to say, a part of the scene, it cuts to something that is very much somewhere else. It breaks the immersion of the story through the video. This held a pretty good story the whole way through it, and I like that. So yeah, that's really cute. I enjoyed that. I just decided to pick whatever Pentatonix had at the top of their call sheet, so to speak. And that one was their latest video, and I'm glad I jumped on it. It's very, very cute, and I thought they did a great job, and I'd be interested to see them perform in a movie. I think I'll have to check that out at some point in time. Yeah. So that was that. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope I managed to show you something. Maybe you hadn't seen this video yet, or you've seen it a few times and I just picked something out and you're like, oh, I didn't realize that. That's why I like that moment, or something like that. That's the kind of stuff I strive to achieve. So if I've managed that, then I'm a very happy man indeed. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate the time that you spend watching, especially if you're still here at the end of the video. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you can choose how often YouTube actually spits up a notification that I've posted rather than just finding me on your feed. And if you would care to support the channel, you can do so by leaving a one-off donation of any amount at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. By heading to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where you can sign on for $2 or $4 Canadian just to support the channel long term. There's nothing really else on the Patreon right now, other than you do get access to my Discord channel if you'd care to join the cool little community I have over there. And join the list of patrons that's shown at the end of the video, which is either up now or will be up in just a moment. Or if you would care to, you can also leave a super thanks here on YouTube. Any of those would be very gratefully appreciated if you would choose to do them. And yeah, that's it for this week. I will be back with some more Christmas stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get like a Christmas month. The last 2 years, I've done a theme month essentially for Christmas where I do 2 videos a week. I will see what I can manage. I might pull that off, but if so, it might not be the full month. It's going to be a little tricky just with timing this year. I've got random gigs all over the place, and it's going to keep me a little bit busier than I was the last couple of Christmases. But we'll see what happens. Regardless, there will be some cool Christmas stuff on the channel, and I hope that you enjoy. Or some holiday stuff, I should say. I'll see what comes up. It might not all be Christmas. But thank you for joining me once again. Do take care of yourselves. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, whatever you happen to be doing, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, walk out in the snow time, whatever you're doing today. Have a lovely day. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.